This is one of science fiction and fantasy's biggest industry shakeups of the year, and I know our channel will be the only one talking about it. Gen Con fires its entire staff of woke sci-fi and fantasy writers from its Writers' Symposium. I'll talk about the Writers' Symposium and just kind of how it's been over the years and why it looks like they got fired in just a moment. But this is big, big news. Gen Con has traditionally just propped these people up, been a part of the establishment, kept the woke narratives alive, and of course pushed identity politics throughout their history. And it's just gotten worse over the last few years. The Writers' Symposium has been the worst of the worst. I don't know anybody who actually tries to go to that because it's just so absurd. It's all about politics. It's all about clout structures over there, as you can see from their special guest author, Hood Feminism. My gosh. And you wonder why it's going poorly for them. We'll go over all of this and what's going on with the symposium in just a moment. We cover all the convention news here and everything that's going on in science fiction and fantasy. That's why we're the most trusted name in science fiction fandom. My channel here is just crushing it because of viewers like you. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 34,000 subscribers this week and for reading Fandom Pulse. Fandom Pulse is actually at 1,200 subscribers now. And those links are in the description below, so you can subscribe here, hit the like button, subscribe to there. I appreciate you guys for being there, and I'm an author myself, somebody who would be blacklisted. If I tried to go to the Gen Con Writers' Symposium, they would ban me immediately. Really, really funny. It's sad, honestly. But I've written a lot of books that sell a lot better than every single writer in the Writers' Symposium there. This is my Stars Entwined, and it's my Oration War trilogy. It's a spy thriller in space, and so if you like some fun action, some great space opera, this is going to be for you. Check it out. It's in the description below. I have it available on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience, and it's a wonderful trilogy. I got a great review from another author who just picked it up this weekend, who just reviewed the whole thing on his Minds page earlier this week. Yeah, we're trucking right along. It's awesome stuff. That link's in the description below. Thank you guys for all of the tremendous support in reading. I love the readers especially. Now, Gen Con Writers' Symposium is really just, it's a clout thing for aspiring writers or like wannabe writers who pretend to be, part of these like publishing establishment who don't really sell books. It's like writers virtue signaling to other writers. And that's what we see a lot of in the mainstream establishment at this point. It's all golf claps for each other, the Nebula Awards with the Science Fiction Writers of Association or whatever they call themselves these days are just like self-congratulatory things. And they don't actually help each other sell. They don't actually sell anything themselves. But they're all pretenders, and that's why they always talk about imposter syndrome. If you go to any of their panels, they're like, oh, I have such imposter syndrome, even though I've been published at least by 10 books. And when they say published, it means like some random company went out there and threw it up on Amazon for them so that they say they're not self-published. Honestly, publishing at this point is vanity press. It really is, because it's not about selling. Bookstores don't really exist anymore. None of these people are out there really selling anything anywhere. There's a whole library scam where these publishers do get their books bought by the government to be thrown into libraries where nobody reads them, and that's about how anybody makes money in this, but I could rant about that in another video. For Gen Con, they've been running this Writers' Symposium for a long time, and it's been run by the likes of like Cat Rambo from SFWA and others. If you go to Gen Con Writers' Symposium, and just check this out. They've got a genconwriters.org. You can see that it is basically just the same old people. Gosh, if it will load. Is it overloading right now? Gosh, we'll get to it. And you can see, I don't know who Mickey Kendall is. I don't know who this lady is. She goes by, she goes by Emily Bell, EDE Bell. And, of course, Cat Rambo is a part of this, the former president of SFWA as well. You can go to the whole guest page, and you can see, here it is. Okay, so the special guests, the featured people, Hood Feminism, Poet of the Fantastic. These seem to be people who are put there for diversity purposes. You can go down this list. You got the soy boy dudes who are clapping for diversity. We got, do I recognize any of these names? Oh my! I know who Brian Young is. He's the BattleTech writer who tries to put transgenders into BattleTech. Cat Rambo I've mentioned before. Let's see. I don't think I recognize a lot of these people. Gabrielle Harboe is a person. She writes like Pathfinder novels and the like, stuff that really doesn't sell a lot. But she's got the corporate clout structure back in the day. A lot of the business model of these people are Jason Sanford. He's only popular because he attacked Bain Books very, very hard a few years ago on a blog. And a lot of these people just like serially sell short stories and get published in anthologies. And get paid like $20 for a story or something like that. Howard Andrew Jones is legit. He's a great writer, actually, and I would recommend him. If you guys have not checked him out, go Google him. So there's one writer here who actually is a good writer who writes books, from what I could tell, and the rest are just clout goblins, as I like to call them at this point. Sheree Renee Thomas, she got promoted to the editor of Fantasy and Science Fiction magazine, destroyed the magazine. It's not even being published anymore, really. This lady's, I don't even know what she is, but she's a she/her, guys, just in case you didn't know. And so that's what you've got. Oh, there's a he/him here too. Great. I'm glad. That's diversity. So that's what the Gen Con Writers Symposium is. They give these panels where they're just complaining about not selling books, not making money. Literally, one of them was like author failures, where like they complained that like they did all this work for publishers and didn't make any money off of it. Really sad stuff. And so nobody wants to be at these because, like, what's the point? It doesn't help anybody who's, like, on their writing career, like, actually trying to make money. It doesn't interest readers or gamers who are interested in this kind of stuff. It's just these panels where nobody sits in the room, and it's a waste of space at Gen Con. So, of course, Gen Con fired all these people right there. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But it goes deeper because this year these people went crazy, and they went further on identity politics than usual. This lady, Emily Bell, actually broke this story, I guess herself, about what was going on. And she said the Gen Con Writers Symposium Committee was informed tonight that at the very end of the meeting with Gen Con, with no reason given, that while our show went, quote, really well, no people on the 2024 committee will be invited back next year. Womp womp. So obviously it did not go really well. Somebody was trying to write a very nicely political email being like, you know what? Things went well. Thank you for your time. And yeah, we're not going to need your services anymore. Have a great day. And that's corporate speak for this all completely failed. You're a train wreck. And clear your stuff out by 5. I'll be requesting a meeting with Mr. Atkinson. So I guess she did that, who's in charge of the programming at Gen Con, it seems like. That's what I'm inferring here. At a minimum, I would like a reason given for our dismissal. And here's where you can figure out the reason for yourself. And it's the woke activism. Because without a reason, I will only have my own documentation to show regarding how Gen Con addressed issues of both race and disability. So this serial harpy, who nobody knows who it is, went out there and complained about, quote, race and disability, and harassed the organizers who are already woke and on their side. I mean, this is why you don't appeal to these people. Like, they're just not, quote, as woke and as on their side. So these people are never happy. This race and disability grift sort of thing is all about bringing people down, making people upset all the time. It's not about books. It's not about readers. It's not about fun for the convention. It's just about their own misery and trying to make everybody else miserable as well. And so that's the thing. So I guess she's threatening to out them as racist and ableist or something. I'm sure this is going to go great for her. But this is why you don't try to appeal to these people. I mean, if Mr. Atkinson tried to appeal to normal gamers like me and normal gamers like you, instead of allowing these people to have this platform for the last how many years, geez, I mean, what a better convention it would have been. So she said she submitted her formal request, and she made a blog about it too. And it's a really rambly sort of deal here. You can see, woo, here's the whole deal. And she said that it's extremely distressing. The loss to the community is significant. No, it's not. It's always the community, the writers' community. It's always so ridiculous. These people are just fakers, and they're, you don't need a community to write. You need a community of readers, and they don't have that. And that's why they're so angry. But there are also huge emotional, practical, and financial losses for my family. Wait, she was getting paid for this grift? Really? Huh. The whole community was investigating a long-term plan for inclusion. Oh my gosh, please clap. for inclusion. It sends a message that a pro-inclusion committee can be mistreated and dismissed without consequence. A lot of corporations and a lot of groups around the country now are just seeing that this like diversity and inclusivity crap is actually exclusive, and it's all just angry people trying to voice grievances all the time. And that for a convention, for celebrating gaming, books in gaming and things like that, it's just not fun. So yeah, you should get rid of this stuff. You should purge this stuff. It turns away customers. It really does. These people are sick. They're mentally ill. And it's just not fun to like be around any of them. Like I couldn't imagine bringing my family to this, like, and like having these blue-haired harpies shrieking at my children that they need to be more inclusive. It's like, what the heck? Let them play their games. Leave them alone. So, but they can't do that. They were informed that they're out, and here she makes it about her grift, and you could tell it's a grift. Many people were upset that I spoke publicly and also used the terms race and disability. I spoke publicly because I'd stayed silent all year, and this was the result. Based on that treatment, I had no confidence in anything I said internally would make its way to Mr. Atkinson. I used the terms not as a threat, but to convey why this is serious and why I want to talk to him personally. I am also hearing from many people that my removal from Origins Game Fair also over issues, so she got hit with another one, related to inclusion. They write race as if they aren't ready to believe me, is evidence I must be a problem. So I'm seeing right here, and she's making threats and then saying it's not threats. Clearly she's a problem. And clearly all these people are problems. But it wasn't just her. And if she says many people were upset, if she's rolling around the convention upsetting all the customers, the paying customers, yeah, that's why you're not in charge of this anymore. That I mean, that's pretty obvious right there. You shouldn't do that at a convention. You should have fun at a convention. I've always had fun at conventions, and just that's why I get a large group of people who try to hang out with me and hang around me, even though these people never put me on these panels, which would make them a lot more fun if they did. But gosh, crazy. Gen Con Writers Symposium used to have a reputation for being unfriendly to BIPOC and other writing communities. The last 2 years, that changed. So they changed the entire thing to be about crazy race grifting and LGBTQ grifting. That's what it's about. So, yeah, she seems angry, and that's probably the problem the entire time. Now, I reported a few weeks ago that Kat Rambo was also mentioned that she was making an anti-Semitic tirade at Gen Con. A whistleblower who was there at the symposium came to me and told me about her comments where she complained about, quote, New York Jews in publishing. And, I mean, it was insane. And she did this over some, like, sort of free Palestine rant. So this political activism just, like, really turns off, like, a lot of gamers. Nobody's here for this, for the games, for game writing. You know, they want to read their Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinders books or BattleTech books. They don't want this crap if they're actual readers, and that's why these books are failing now. I mean, they've replaced all the good writers with these people, and these people have no talent, and they just rely off the race grift in order to just get things done. So here it is. She keeps going. Emergency meeting, concerns regarding the special guest Mickey Kendall, the hood feminism. She says she was ambushed, addressing down to the committee by somebody who had no knowledge. I was looked in the eye and told, you need to realize what you did was bad. You invited 2 special guests with no draw and broad appeal. Oops. So it's really amazing that they say that they... and this was updated. This was updated recently because this wasn't in here when I posted my blog this morning. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. You're repeatedly accused of funneling money for personal use? Wow. Didn't she say that it was a financial hardship on her family? Yeah, it sounds like she was. At no point was I allowed to explain anything. So this is why she was fired. This is why the whole committee was fired. They were using this little clout structure at Gen Con to pay themselves, to get themselves into these positions, and then didn't draw anybody because they were bringing in these diversity hires to yell and scream about politics. Yikes. What a disaster. And so Gen Con made a good move. This looks fantastic. And hopefully next year, they'll replace them with people who actually know what they're doing as far as writing and know what they're doing as far as fun. And, maybe Gen Con can be made fun again. It sounds great to me. I know it sounds great to you too. This is a great step. And again, this is happening in every aspect of culture. The woke is dying. It is a grift that went on way too long. These people got too much power in these industries, and they turned off all the readers and all the customers. They got rid of everybody who actually loves science fiction and fantasy and gaming. And gosh, it's going to take a lot to turn it around and regain the public trust. But this is a good step, obviously, according to her own blog. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Grab The Stars Entwined. Grab the whole Arisian War trilogy. I really think it works best as the trilogy on Amazon. This is good fun. You'll love it. Quality writing. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It's in the description below, and we'll be back soon.